What's going on, fishing buddies? Welcome back to the channel. Fish Bites Trading Post, St. Augustine, Florida. I am in town. I'm going to visit Ocean Waves, a longtime sponsor and supporter of PERDIDOBLANE. Try to work out some new deals. So of course I had to stop by the trading post, and I ran into Barry Chromeberger from BS Fishing Charters, and it gave me a great idea for a video. Let's compare East and West Coast surf fishing guides. What's the same and what's different? Let's get it out there. Barry!
What up, guys?
We are gonna sit down and we're gonna do like an interview style video, guys. And I'm curious to see like what Barry's doing different, what he's doing the same as far as how we run these surf fishing charters, the setups, the gear we're using, because this is fairly new. Running surf fishing, guys, hasn't been going on for a long time. With the explosion of surf fishing guides naturally followed. I know some guides in my area, Smitty, Arrington, Jordan Gooden from G2 Coastal. So we're all doing about the same thing out there. But I'm curious how Barry's running here in the St. Augustine, Jacksonville area. Barry Chromeberger, BS Surf Fishing Charters, is here with me today, guys. Barry, talk about your business. How long have you had it going?
We've been going for about a year and a half, 2 years now. We started probably right in the beginning of the pandemic, unfortunately. So it was a hard time coming into that game.
Yeah.
Man. Been running out of St. Augustine, Crescent Beaches areas, covering a lot of ground out of there, moving up and down that coast. Gotten really familiar with fishing it. Gotten really good at dialing in fish on those spots.
Got it. And I've been running mine. It is actually 2 years this month. The 22nd of November, 2021, Bama Beach Bum, he made an announcement on one of his videos that he was gonna stop doing surf fishing charters.
I remember that video.
Yeah, and I was actually in Thunder's bedroom. I was trying to put Thunder to bed, so I'm like watching fishing videos, and he made the announcement, and I was just like, right then I was like, I'm gonna fill that void, you know?
Yeah, man.
Because I knew the need for it and I knew the want for it, and basically I had it going, I think 48 hours later.
Yep, same. We thought, me and my buddy originally talked about it. He had some things come up. He had a little boy, was working overnights, didn't make it, it wasn't easy for him to do it, so I took on responsibility of it. Now it's mine, and it's kind of the same thing, man. We talked about doing it, and then next thing you know, we got a Facebook page, the LLC's done, the insurance is done, and we were just moving. We were on our way. Logos, everything. We sent it. Full send.
Pumping. So with my services, Barry, PERDIDOBLANE Outfitters LLC, I run the surf fishing, the traditional surf fishing guides. I run kayak fishing guides. I do overnight kayak fishing excursions, which is
awesome.
It's awesome. I can't get a hit on it though, man.
Oh, man. Okay, next time I'm coming out, we're doing that one, bro.
It's kind of priced high, but I mean it is like
all inclusive.
It's 2 days on the water. We're doing catch, clean, and cooks, like right there on the at the campsite. And I also do surf fishing lessons, and I've been getting quite a bit of hits on the surf fishing lessons from locals.
Okay.
So locals that are wanting to get into this thing. They don't want to spend, a year figuring it out.
Yeah.
They hire me, we do like 3 lessons, and that really like gets them going,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Do you run any other like service besides just the traditional surf fishing?
So I do a little bit of what you do. I do the surf fishing lessons as well.
Yeah.
And that all depends on the clientele, just like you said. You got people that want to learn, and they want to learn fast. Local guys that just want to get out there and start doing something with their free time. Especially during COVID, we had a lot of free time.
Oh yeah.
But most of the time, for me, it's a lot of traditional, just charters, just regular. People got out of town, never surf fish, never caught a fish in the ocean because they didn't know they were right there in front of them.
Yeah. When I throw that line like 10 feet off the beach,
people are amazed.
They're like, "What are you doing?" Yeah.
They're right there in front of you.
They're right there, buddy. Just give it a minute.
Yep.
And the lessons is something I wish I would have done.
Yeah.
It would have saved me a year.
Yep.
Basically, when I moved here 3 years ago, I knew I was going to get into surf fishing. I've been watching Bama Beach Bum, Brant, Brad, all those guys from Miami. And I bought a 9-foot rod, and I ran around the beach for 6 months with that 9-foot rod and had no idea what I was doing.
But you learned a lot in those 9 months.
I did. I learned a lot, and then obviously started upgrading the gear. And but it's something I don't even think it was offered back then. I don't think anybody was doing lessons.
The only one we had around here that I knew about was Noel Kuhn.
Yes.
Larry Finch was doing them. I don't think Larry's doing them anymore. And I believe Roy Monson out of Daytona was doing them.
Okay, yeah, I know all those names.
We didn't really have anybody down here in this market when I got into it, which is what kind of drove us a little bit harder to do it as well.
Yeah. Had to do a location change. It started raining on us.
Yeah, a little bit.
Get under the canopy here. Let's get into the fun stuff, Barry. Let's talk about gear.
All right.
And it has definitely changed for me. The gear, like this is my running surf fishing charters gear.
Okay.
So right now, what I'm taking, I'm bringing 3 11-foots, and those are like my pompano rods.
Yep.
Those are strictly pompano. I have pompano rigs on those. I am targeting pompano with those rods. Now, you know as well as I do, anything can hit them. I've called in 30-pound black drum on those rigs.
Yep.
And I'm bringing 2 10-footers right now, and these are like my short rods.
Okay.
All right, because I am zoning out my lines.
Yep.
So I use those 10-footers for my short cast. And I always keep 1 12-footer with like a Carolina-style rig on it for cut bait, things like that.
Yep.
Now, with that being said, I'm about to change all that, Barry. So, well, not all of it. What I am doing now, I'm in the process of, I'm going to eliminate those 2 10-footers because they are bummy sticks powered by Ninja Tackle. So those rods are really designed for casting like heavy spoons out there for jacks, reds, you know, whatever we see blowing up. And I want to make the fight a little bit better for my clients.
Absolutely.
So when we hook up, and those rods are great for set rig fishing, I love them.
Yep.
And obviously they're built to cast. But when we do hook up on fish, there's such a stiff rod that you don't get that fight like you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my new plan, the new thing I'm switching into is I'm gonna have my 3 11-foot pompano setups, and I'm gonna switch to 2 like whiting style rods. The 8'6" Ninja Dagger is a great example of that.
Yep.
Because you catch whiting on that and you feel it, it's a fight.
Yep.
You know, it holds up to about a 2-ounce weight capacity, so that's plenty for catching whiting. We're usually catching them up close anyway. We're not having to launch out.
And usually you might get a stray black drum or red drum to float through there too in that tight water.
You're right, you're right.
And imagine that fight.
So that's what I'm in the process of doing. And I like putting quality gear in my client's hands.
Absolutely.
When I first started, I was running like ugly sticks and star rods. Nothing wrong with those rods, they catch fish.
Yep.
And it was the mentality of, oh, I'm gonna have my good equipment in the hands of an amateur, so to speak.
Yeah.
I don't want them breaking it. I don't know this and that. And James Frisky Fins, he said, why not let them get the full experience?
Yeah.
Why don't you put some good quality rods in their hands? You know, I was like, you're crazy, James.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money we got in gear.
But he's right.
Yeah.
So with me running that quality setup, the customers really get to feel exactly what we're doing out there.
Absolutely.
Like this is the exact gear I'm using, personal and running charters. It gives them ideas of when they want to get into this, or if they are getting into this, what to buy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've had my hands on this ugly stick that I have in my closet that I've been using. Now I've got my hand on this Ninja or this over the bar rod by Mark that are, you know, these rods are built for surf fishing.
Yep.
That's
100%.
that's what they're designed to do. And so they get their hands on those, and I think it just makes the experience a lot better for the client all around. And then with the reels, I'm running 4,000 series reels, 20-pound braid on my 11-foots. And when I do transition into those whiting rods, I'm gonna run 3,000s. 3,000s with probably 10-pound. 10-pound braid. And then on my 12-foot like drum rod is what I call it, 5,000 series, 30-pound braid, and fluorocarbon leader for everything.
It's great about those short rods, man. And anytime we get a customer out there, and Chip put it best, sinker guy. Man, the tug's the drug. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we're fighting them on. It's that tug. It's what keeps us going back when to catch more.
I like catching ladyfish.
Yep, same. Bluefish. Hey man, if it's pulling line, I'm on board. So I run it a little bit different. I run 4 Marks over the bar 13s.
Okay, so you're running a lot taller rod.
Well, our bar to get to the pompano is at the back bar. It's the second bar, so we have to have the distance.
Got it.
We'll cover ground in the front, and I'll maybe throw a rod or two up in the front trough. But what I'm doing is I'm gonna dial in, just like you do when you're out there. You dial them in, you find the zone where the fish are in, and then that's where you start putting your rods and your sets.
You zone it out.
Yeah, but for us, from when we're pompano fishing, 90% of the time they're on that back bar where you got to cast 100+ yards to get to the back bar.
We're so spoiled where we're at.
Yeah, you guys are, man.
We are at, guys. I've fished Jacksonville, and we are spoiled in the Panhandle. Man. I'm telling you, we're like the rich daughters.
Yeah, you guys don't even have to move your sand spikes. It's crazy. And Blaine was out, and I think we moved 100 yards up and down the beach.
Yeah, I was like, this is not fun. This is not fun. I was moving my sand spikes about every 15 minutes, guys.
Yep.
And it's not like that soft flour sand that we got. I mean, you gotta like dig in. Like I needed a shovel, I felt like.
So with the 4 over the bars, I run the Shimano Ultegra 5500 CI
Okay,
4s.
bigger reels.
I love, well, again, we need the line capacity.
Yes.
We're getting those back bars.
Makes sense.
And if we're getting on the back bars, you still got the chance of the bonnet heads getting back there. You got the red drum there, the black drum.
Yeah.
You get on a bigger one of those, you want that real, especially on the back bar.
Yeah.
So you want the line capacity, you want the ability to be able to get that fish in fast, especially if you got to do a release.
Yeah.
Especially on the bigger fish. On these shorter rods, I have 2 daggers. I have a lady dagger that I bought for my wife that she loves. Thanks, Wayne. And an 11-foot dagger that I bought from them when they first started putting rods out, man. My wife bought it for me. It's one of my favorite rods.
Dude, Matt Poole nailed it with that 11-foot.
Yeah,
that 11-foot is, I mean, that is probably my favorite rod out of all my rods. You know what I mean?
That's high on my list, man.
Yeah.
I don't show many people don't actually pay attention to it, but I have a Daiwa inner line that I've had for years. And the line goes through the blank. There is no eyelets.
Oh, wow.
That is my bread and butter.
Yeah.
I love that rod.
Yeah.
It's great for fighting big fish, sharks, tarpon, redfish, big black drum, because it's an 8 bait rod.
Yeah.
So it handles that. It handles that fight. And I still run the same thing, the Ultegra 5500. Right on that, man. And that's pretty much across my whole board of rods, those 5500.
Nice. Do you bring any like lighter setups? Like I'm transitioning into the whiting rods. Are you using anything like that?
So when we get our Spanish, especially during the mullet run, I bring a 7-foot Akuma tarpon rod. I recently got it from here, from Fish Bites Trading Post.
Yeah.
And, it's got an Akuma reel on it, a 4000 on it, and it's literally built. It's the guys use it on the boats with tarpon.
Yeah.
Well, I use it on the surf to throw metal and
Got
big
it.
plugs.
Got it.
And you let the customers use it, and we've gotten some nice Spanish on them. We've gotten some nice big bluefish on them. That rod just does work.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the next thing that I'm going to be bringing. Is I want to get another one of those to have on the charter, so that way I can have 2.
Nice. Let's get into like the beach card, because I know you use a beach card. I mean, you gotta have a 4-wheel beach card if you're running guides. Now for me, it has changed, right? So I'm trying to stay as light as possible, and even with the cooler, I've recently changed out my cooler. I had one of those like Yeti style coolers that was great. It'll hold ice for 8 weeks, you know?
Yeah.
But it was heavy, you know? And so I've changed everything out. I am very, and I don't want to use the word minimalistic, you know, because I feel this is just a trendy word that everybody's using. But I'm very like, you know, the less is better for me.
Yeah.
I have like my rigs I bring, and I use a rig bag from Mark from Florida Surf Tackle that I have all those organized in. I have a little box with pyramid weights. I have like my tools, you know, my pliers, my scissors, things like that. My Sputnik weights, which actually hang on my beach cart. And really, that is it. I bring 1 tackle box with metal and poppers. But that's it. I keep it as light as possible. Just because of those trips, sometimes we're hiking, man. Like, especially in the summer when it's busy and you have an afternoon trip and there's beachgoers everywhere.
You guys gotta walk.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it is, let's say, this time of year, where you can just pull up to the spot and start fishing, you know? So I've found over the last couple years that the lighter the better for me. I don't need a lot of stuff out there. Like, I know what I'm targeting. I know the possibilities of what's going on out there.
Yep.
So I don't need to bring the whole garage, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then as far as like bait, I have my fish bites and fresh dead shrimp, and I'm raking sand fleas. That's it. So, you know, my container of shrimp is like this. I got my fish bites in my bag. I got my sand flea rake. And I know you guys use different baits on this side of Florida, so you guys are probably bringing more than I am.
Yeah, I'm a lot like you. Less is better. But I have the privilege of being able to drive on my beach.
Ah!
So I can hop on at A Street in St. Augustine pre-hurricane and drive all the way down to Matanzas Inlet.
Photobomb you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Marty, video bombing.
Yeah. So when we set up, if my client's on a condo right on the beach, I can pull right up in front of their condo and set up.
Oh, wow.
So we can, my cart, I'll bring a variety of things,
Yeah.
but most of the time, a lot of it's in my truck because my truck's right there.
You can leave stuff in the vehicle.
Yeah, and you've seen that when you were here with us. You know, we can run right up to the truck and grab stuff if we need to grab it. Oh man, I need to go grab this.
Yeah.
You walk right up.
That is a huge advantage.
But usually my setups, especially if I'm not fishing or drive on beaches, I'm bringing, I have an Arctic or an Eco cooler that I absolutely love. The thing's bright orange. It's got everybody's stickers on it. Because
Yeah.
I want to draw attention.
Yeah.
I want people to see that and be like, man, what is this? So I bring that. I have a little container that I put my lead in. My fish bites are in there, my scissors, and it literally fits right in the cart. It's very light. It's just enough.
Okay.
And then same thing, my Sputniks hang right off the cart. So we usually come in and with the same setup as you, man. We try to, less is more. I mean, I don't want to carry all that weight if I don't have to.
No. And what about bait? Like, so you guys are using a lot of clams here, right?
We use clams because we have so much coquina.
Yeah.
And the periwinkle clams are all over on our beach. So we use a lot of clam. We use crab knuckles religiously.
Okay.
Because with speckled crabs and all those that are on the beach, I'm a big fan of fiddler crabs. I love using fiddler crabs on the beach.
You know what? I listened to your podcast with Brian Demo, and I heard you say that. Yeah.
It's so underrated because like our beaches here, we don't get fleas. It's a hard packed sand. You've seen that.
Really? Yeah.
So we don't get fleas.
Got it.
But if you go on the other side of the inlet, you get fleas. But if they're not, there's fleas not on our sand, they're not eating fleas. So what are they eating, Blaine?
Yeah.
You know, so we throw fiddlers. Of course, I always have the full arrangement of fish bites. I mean, I bring everything: shrimp, clam, crab, you know, the whole nine. Bloodworm.
Hey, I just did a video with bloodworm.
I think I gave you. Did I give you some of that to try?
I just put a video out a few weeks back where I couldn't get a bite and I had some bloodworm. Like that's been in the bottom of my bag forever.
Doesn't matter.
And I was like, let me try it out, and I started slaying the whiting with it.
That was our bread and butter up north when we were when I was in New Jersey.
Yeah.
We used that for everything: stripers, black drum, whiting. It was just one of those baits that just was solid all the way around. And then I found out when I got down here, there was so many other flavors.
Yes.
So, but so shrimp, crab knuckles, clam, fiddlers, you know, whatever we can match the hatch to.
Got it. This is the bloodworm we're talking about. We went and grabbed a pack. We are at the trading post here. So it's a lot thinner of a strip also.
Yeah.
So I was using just little bitty pieces, Barry.
Yeah.
And like I said, the whiting, we're nailing it. So don't forget about the freshwater fish bites also, because these guys work. Let's get into the actual charter. So, you know, a customer calls me. Obviously, I have my organization, you know, my charter list where I plug in all their information. We set a date. A lot of times it's not a specific date because they're going to be in town for like a week. So basically I put them down for the week, and then I'll contact them probably 48 hours before to try to find the best day as far as conditions.
Yes.
Now, does that always work? No, because sometimes I already have a charter booked, or sometimes they have something else going on that date. So you just kind of try to get in where you can at that point. But it is convenient for me because we're getting a lot of tourists, we're getting a lot of vacationers who are here for at least a week. So I have time to play with different dates while they're here to give them the best possible experience, you know? So once that happens, is once we have a solid date, I always pre-fish. Now, if it's a time of the year where it's just booming, you know what I mean? Like, so basically either early fall or spring, where you can't not catch a fish, then I don't worry too much about pre-fishing. But especially like this time of year and in summer, man, I have to pre-fish because it's harder to find fish at those times, and you want to be able to at least catch something by yourself, you know, maybe the day before, so you can at least take them back to that same spot, so you have a good possibility of catching more fish.
Yep.
Are you following the same sort of pattern with that, or what are you doing different?
Well, for me, unfortunately, I still have my 9 to 5.
Oh,
But luckily, every other weekend I have 4-day weekends. So I have the Friday, Mondays, and I always have every weekend off. So I'm gonna do the same thing though. If I have a charter coming up, when they call, I give them a window just like you do and say, look, this is our weather windows, this is what we're looking like, this is our tides. Because we're tide dependent fishermen here.
Yes, and we're not.
Yeah, you guys can fish at any point. I mean, it doesn't matter what time of day it is.
Barry comes down there and fishes our tournaments, and he's always talking about tides. I'm like, what tides? There ain't no tides here.
One tide a day.
Yeah, you go fish whenever you want.
Yeah. So we're tide dependent. St. Augustine Beach is a great low tide beach. If I go further south, I go to Varn. That's a great high tide beach because it's a high impact beach. So really, depending where my location of my customer, if they're on St. Augustine Beach or Crescent Beach and I can park in front of their place they're staying, I can pre-fish out there.
How convenient.
It's just great. And move up and down that beach a little bit, you know, 50 yards each way, and find different structures, different holes, different runouts to be able to fish with them, where I know if I caught fish there yesterday, they're going to be there again.
Yes.
But if they're not, I know I can move 50 yards on the beach and get on another spot.
You know where not to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So pre-fishing's a big game of that, and we talked a lot about that actually Friday with the Panhandle Fishing Report with Brian and Schmitty.
Okay. Yeah.
They were talking about that towards the end of the report.
Yeah.
And it's just pre-fishing's a game changer. Even for tournaments, we pre-fish.
Yeah.
You know, we have to. We got to find fish.
Now let me ask you about this, Barry. So obviously, if the weather is just poo, the conditions, I will call off the charter.
Absolutely.
It hurts me, and I know it hurts the customer too, because they're coming down here to fish.
And they're looking forward to it.
Yes, but I am definitely not going to take them out there and basically know that either A, we're not going to catch any fish,
or you're going to catch catfish,
or B, we might catch fish, but it's just going to be horrible, like getting sandblasted with wind, the conditions, not be able to hold lines. So I will call it off. Now, another thing that I do is, if we're fishing and I don't, you know, obviously I'm running the charter, I didn't see any reason to call it off, and we're just not catching fish, right? We're not catching fish. You know, I'll leapfrog rods. I will move spots. Now, not like packing up the gear and moving spots, but I will move down the beach and find a different spot to fish. But you're talking about a 4-hour window here that we're running the charter.
Yeah.
When it starts pushing into that 2.5 hour, 3 hour range, and we're at a skunk, and I've changed baits and I've moved spots,
you're questioning things.
Yes, I'm questioning my life decisions.
Yes. Did we choose the right spot? Is this the wrong spot, or are they somewhere else? At
that point, Barry, what I do is I give the client the option. I will deduct $100 and call it, or I'll say, or it's up to you, and we can push forward, and I'll tack on an extra hour if needed.
Yep.
And I give that customer that option, instead of just kind of holding them hostage out there for 4 hours and nothing happening, and then charging them the full price.
Yeah.
You know, now I still have to account for my time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And whatever bait I bought to get out there. So that's how I do it. I'm like, if I'm running a $350 charter, it's been 3 hours, there hadn't been anything. We could deduct $100 right now and we can walk, or we could try to ride it out, but it's going to be full price after that.
Yep.
Are you doing the same sort of thing? How are you accounting for those like tough days?
Well, So, especially on the tough days when the customers just still really want to go.
Yeah.
And you've had those, I'm
Yes.
sure. It doesn't matter. It could be blowing 15, 20, and they're like, we still just want to go fish. We just
Yeah.
want to go throw lines. We don't care if we catch catfish. And I'm like, who?
But
okay.
but it's
the draw.
and it's the experience for them.
So,
you know, it really is.
And if we're on a skunk day, and I mean, we're really struggling, same thing, we've jumped around, we've jumped rods, you know, and we're struggling. What I do is I offer them half.
Yeah.
So I said, look, this is what we're going to do. If you want, let's schedule another time. And we'll do half now, and you give me the other half next time we get to go out.
Got it.
Because I want them to have the full experience and have it enjoyable. So
Yes.
usually, like you said, around that 2 hour, 3 hour mark, I'm starting to put that in question, and then I would present it to them. And I say, hey, do you guys want to do this again? Like, let's do this. You know, just give me the half now, and then we'll do the other half next time we go out, because I want them to come back. I want them to enjoy it.
Yes.
And I want them to catch good fish, quality fish, fun fish. You know, when you have a catfish day,
Yeah.
kids love it.
And you know, Barry, that's a great advantage of running surf fishing guides, compared to like boat charters, right? Yeah. So a captain that takes some clients out and they have a skunk day, they still got to pay for gas,
everything,
all that bait, so they have to charge the client full price. You know, which is unfortunate. But for us, it's not big. It's not that big of a deal. If we're here, let's discount the price.
Yeah. And
you're right. If my clients can do another day, I will always do another day with them. But again, a lot of times I'm in that vacation window.
Yeah.
You know,
you get a lot more of that than we do over here.
So really, not a lot of difference. We're running surf fishing guides. I mean, it's just really
tuning our rigs.
Yeah,
everybody runs rigs a little different.
And it's like, you know, different gear, obviously, but that's because of the different structure that we're fishing. You know, I love it, man. I love doing this for a living.
Absolutely, man.
It's not a lot of overhead. You know, it's enjoyable. Like, I'm gonna be out there fishing anyway.
Exactly.
It's starting to pick up. I find that clients who want to do this, like, they don't know how to access us. They don't know the keywords to use.
They don't.
To really, because they're Googling charters, right? So boat charters are gonna pop up.
Kayak charters,
all that, you know. So, you know, I think the more that guys like me and you are on social media, the more we're hashtagging stuff, the more keywords we're using, this will grow and customers will be able to really access us. I run into people all the time on the beach. I'm flying my flag. They come over because they're curious what I'm doing. I let them know, and they go, I've been looking for something like this. I don't know how to access it. And there's not a lot of guys doing it in my area. How many guys you guys got around here?
Like I said, I think
like legitimate surf fishing guys, not I got a cooler sticker and a Facebook page guys.
I think we probably got about a handful. I mean, Chip does them, but he's not doing them as much as he used to. The sinker guy. He's not doing as much as he used to because he's really focused on the sinker guy business, but he's still running some charters. You got Larry Finch, but he's been out of it because of health. Noel Kuhn. And you got Kathy Sanders down in Flagler. And Roy Motson down in Daytona. So I would say we probably got four covering from there that I'm aware of. 4 legitimate surf fishing guys. And guys, when we talk about legitimate surf fishing guys with, you know, actual LLCs, business license, insurance, you know, running a business. And you know what, and running those, like I call them bootleg operations, those give us a bad name with the boat captains. And I've gotten a lot of like turned up noses at the tackle shop when they find out I'm running surf fishing charters or kayak fishing charters, because we don't have to go through as much detailed stuff as they do, right? We don't get a captain's license.
We don't have to get a captain's license. We don't have the maintenance of the boat and all that.
Have a boat.
Yeah, but I mean, these are legitimate businesses once you do it right. And once they found out that, they have accepted me, in my area at least, like in Perdido. But there are a lot of guys, you see them pop up during season, like in the summer or during the spring Pompano run, where basically they get a cooler sticker and create a Facebook page, and now they're running guides, and they're a completely illegal business operating. So those guys will give us bad names, you know? So really, so you're saying about 4 to 5 in your area, and it's the same with me. We got Smitty over there in Navarre.
Yeah.
We got Jordan in Alabama, and myself. Those are really the 3 that I know. Mad Dog runs down there in Fort Morgan area, Redfish.
Okay.
So yeah, about the same amount, you know. So, and for us in my area, we all work together. So we actually have a chat that when one of us can't run a charter, yeah. Like, hey, I just got a booking, I can't take it. Does anybody want to take this? So we're all friendly.
Yeah.
And we all work together.
Well, I noticed that on your side, man. You guys have a tight-knit, really tight-knit community of fishermen. And when I first got down here into Florida, it wasn't like that for us. Now, a lot of the newer guys, when I talk newer guys, I'm talking Chip, Spencer Brogdon, Brian Curlett, Dustin Burke, all these guys, we all talk. Yeah. Because we all want to catch fish. We all want to help people catch fish, so we talk. So I wouldn't say we do that as much with the charter community, because in the end of the day, you know as well as I do, everybody's in it to make money. But in the community itself as fishermen, we're getting better about it on this side. Yeah. So it's getting better. It is getting better. We're trying to fix that. Good.
Barry, if there's some people want to hire you in the Jacksonville, St. Augustine area, how would they find you?
So we're on Facebook and Instagram currently. We do have a Google business set up, so when you Google us, we do come up.
Okay,
We don't have a website currently. We're currently working on that, but the main focus right now is the Facebook. That's our main platform where we put a lot of our reports and stuff like that up.
And advertising and all that.
Yep.
So they can find you at BS Fishing Charters?
BS Fishing Charters, LLC.
LLC, Facebook, guys, Instagram. So if you are coming to the Jacksonville area and you want to go fish with Barry, give him a call. I know Barry personally. I've fished with him a lot of times. He will put you on fish. All right, fishing buddies, getting out of here. Cool video. That video was not planned. I saw Barry up here this morning. I was like, hey, I got an idea. I got to get out of here. I am now going to Ocean Waves. Hopefully I'll have a huge announcement once this is over. Fingers crossed. East Coast, West Coast, surf fishing guides. I mean, we're doing the same stuff, guys. You know, it's about catching fish for the customer. Again, the gear's a little different. It's because we have different structures. We have different beaches. Love my job. I want the business to grow. I want Barry to grow. I want all of us to grow. Again, this is fairly new. I mean, the last few years. So I think once it catches on, surf fishing guides, hiring guides like us is gonna explode. It's just a great way to access fish with your family, with the little ones. You don't have to get on a boat or anything like that. Super fun for the whole family, and you can catch some quality fish. If you're coming to the Perdido Key, Orange Beach, Pensacola area, and you would like to book a trip with myself, you can find all my information at perdidoblane.com. Till next time, fishing buddies.